As something as a distinguished ladies and gentlemen, going by the program, the next item is presentation of the ARe-SuRe research project by no other than our lead researcher, United Kingdom, Alex F.R. Amel, PhD, MSc, PhD, MHDA, Senior Lecturer at the University of Northumbria, Newcastle-upon-Tyne, United Kingdom. Yeah, Zoom.
Right. Are you able to hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, do the work.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, thank you. And so it is a pleasure to be part of this event today. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it to Zaria. I have discussed that with Professor Dogo. And so, Prof, thank you for your understanding. And I should say that it has been a brilliant opportunity to work with Professor Dogo and Ahmadu Bello University as well. The project has been good so far. Few challenges, but we've been able to navigate through them. And so, Prof, thank you so much for working hard to see to it that these events, are taking place now. Right. And so in my presentation, it's a summary basically of the project, the key findings of what we have been able to achieve so far. And so my target will be to bring this information to you as this project has been interesting. And so as you are aware, the title of our project is Gender Diversification of the Construction Industry Workforce. And in this, as part of this, our focus is how do we attract, recruit, support, and retain women graduates. And so what makes this project unique and interesting is the focus. There's been some research on women in construction generally, but what we sought to do is to look at the graduate, because we know maybe from the start you have a large number of females, who enroll in, built environment programs or construction related programs. But at the end of their courses, you find that we have a few, even those who join industry, a large number end up leaving. And so how do we attract and retain these professionals? And so that is what we sought to do. And so I'll be presenting it. Sorry. Okay. Right. So as you're aware, my name is Ernestifa Amiao, and I'm the lead UK lead researcher based at Northumbria University. And, as I mentioned earlier, working with Professor Adogo on this project as a Nigerian lead. And so as I mentioned earlier, it's been a wonderful experience working with Prof. She's really understanding from start to finish. And I should say that it was interesting how we met. I have a PhD student currently from Nigeria, and he happened to be, a student, maybe a former, so I should say, or Prof. Adogo was the external examiner for the PhD student's master's thesis. And so when I said I'm looking for a partner for a project from Nigeria, and so he mentioned Prof. Adogo, and so that's how we met. And so my presentation is going to focus on three key aspects: the background and the aim and objectives of our study, which have been highlighted by Prof. earlier, our research approach, and our findings to date. please let me know if you can see the way it is set up. I'm not sure if you see my slides now.
Hello?
Yes, please let me know if you see my slides.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. Sorry, some of the information is not showing as I can see on my screen. Depends on the setup.
And it's showing. Please, you can just go ahead.
Okay, all right.
It's not. Oh, it's not. You can only read the title.
Yeah, so sorry, the slides I should be seeing is a project aim and objective. I don't know whether you see the same thing.
Yes, only project aim and objectives. Then the
Okay.
project aim.
Right. Okay, thank you. So there should be a subsequent slide regarding stating the aim, but that is not showing on my screen. And so sorry for that, I'm not too sure why. All right, so trying to fix it. So if my aim is showing now, please.
It is not showing.
All right. Yeah, so just want to make sure what I see is the same thing at your end. And so the slide I projected should be the objectives. 1 to 4, if you see the same thing, please, can you confirm?
Yes, confirmed. We can see it.
Okay, right, thank you so much then. Okay, then that should be working fine now. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for that. So the aim of our project is to understand strategies by which we can attract and retain more women graduates into the construction industry. And so that is our overall objectives as far as this project is concerned. And then the intention again is to draw lessons from the UK experience to inform these strategies in the context of Nigeria. And so that is what we seek to achieve. Now we have 5 primary aims. And so to be able to develop these strategies, we need to understand what the barriers are, what factors hinder women from first entering into the construction industry. And then second, what are the reasons why they leave? Those who are able to join the industry, why do they leave? And so our third is to now design solutions to enhance entry and retention of graduate women into the construction industry. And then our fourth objective will be to ensure, find ways to promote equality among men and women in the construction industry. We know that equality is one of the major issues, particularly in the construction industry as well as other industry, but our focus is on the construction industry. And then finally, building on objectives 1 to 4, we should be able to design these strategies to enhance retention and then, entry, and to come up with a set of pathways, all right, that women can, use to enter the construction industry. And so on our research approach and methods, we have a 3-stage project. Stage 1 is questionnaire survey, stage 2 is interviews, and stage 3 is the final phase. That is what we are doing now, the workshop in Zaria and then a conference in Abuja. And so we are in phase 3 now, coming to the end of the project. So the main research methods that we have adopted, as I mentioned earlier, is the questionnaire survey, problem-centered interviews. The interviews were asking for solutions. For example, how do we design solutions to deal with inequality between men and women in the construction industry? And then the workshop, again, like we are doing today, is also going to inform the development of our strategies. And so try to represent the research approach and methods, as I mentioned earlier, in the form of a diagram for easy appreciation. Is our phase 1, which is our questionnaire survey, that is addressing objectives 1 and 2. And then phase 2, which is the interviews, is addressing objectives 3 to 5. Right, and so these 2 phases, which have been conducted already, is now informing the final phase, the workshop, and then the conference. And so the conference seeks to bring everything together and to communicate our final results. And so today, as the keynote speakers are making their presentations, notes are being taken in terms of some of the user information that they are putting across. And that is going to inform our conference as well to bring these projects to a close. Now, let me share briefly with you what we've been able to find as part of this project based on phases 1 and 2. And so phase 1, we try to look at objective 1, which is the obstacles to entry. Okay, what are the barriers that prevent a lot of women from entering the construction industry? And from our study, so we have condensed everything, what we found in the UK, found in Nigeria, and we come up with the major barriers. Now, in our report, when you go deeper, you realize that there are common factors between both countries, and there are country-specific factors as well. Right, and so, but for now, focus on the key major common factors. The first one is the family work-life balance, which was mentioned by one of the speakers. And so this is a major barrier, especially when we find ourselves in traditional settings, where family, takes a lot of weight, or we put importance on family life. And so if our work life is going to interfere with our family, we realize that this is a major factor that discourage women, especially those who are family oriented, from pursuing career in the construction. The second is the image of the construction industry. I think that there is an image when we mention construction, maybe what comes to many people's mind is the, a hard hat, a dirty boot, and so on, right? But, so this image has been projected over and over again. And so we see the industry as a tedious one, where work is not flexible, is so stressful to work in this industry. And so that image is not attractive to the young people. The next one is an issue of discrimination or sexism. And so again, discrimination against women. There's been a lot of report as part of this project. When we're doing the interviews and doing the literature review, we found a lot of cases of people sharing experiences, of discrimination in the workplace. And again, this also discourages young women from entering the industry. The last factor is knowledge of the industry. I should say that maybe the average young woman, is not really aware of the career prospects in this industry. And so maybe the industry has not been able to, communicate its potential very well to those that may be interested in. And so there's a limited knowledge about the industry and what it can offer, by way of career choice for young women. And so these four major barriers are what we identified, to be very, very, very significant. And therefore, we need to design some solutions to overcome them. Now, the second objective, we want to look at the reasons why those who are able to join the industry, why they leave. Again, the research will tell us that there's a high number of women who leave the industry at some point. And so here again, we found four major causes or reasons. And the first one is the nature of the industry. All right, how it is projected. And so it's also similar to what we found to be a barrier. And so I should mention that between barriers and causes or reasons why women leave the industry, there's some kind of intersection. Some of the factors serve as barriers and serve as reasons why women leave. And one is, the nature of the construction industry, the image of the industry. Another is still the family work-life balance, and again, lack of support systems for women, especially with families. And so that is the second major factor. The third one is the poor career fulfillment. And so from the interviews, we gathered that a large number of women feel that in terms of career progression or fulfillment in the industry, it is a bit slow, right, compared to their colleagues in other sectors. It may take a long time before they are promoted to senior level positions. And so these are some of the limitations. And so this will be a good reason why someone will leave and join another industry. And finally, an important point is competing industries. And so we call that other attractive industries, i.e., where there are better opportunities and prospects for example, progression in other sectors, or maybe other sectors appear attractive. Maybe, people working in the finance sector, people working in the oil and gas and things like that. And so the industry will have to deal with all these things so that it can retain the talent it has been able to attract. Now, with phase one, we move to phase two, and phase two is dealing with about three objectives. And the first objective is initiatives to enhance entry and retention. As we have seen the reasons why women are unable to enter the industry or reasons why they leave quickly, right? Now, our third objective seeks to address this challenge. And so from the interviews, we've been able to have three levels of initiatives. The first being the personal level initiative, the second being the organizational level, and the third is the industry level. And so at each level, there are specific strategies or initiatives that should be put in place. And so, for example, at a personal level, we expect that women who are interested in the industry will take the time to understand the industry and what it can offer, and also take advantage of programs programs attracting these women. And so if you look at the industry, there are special programs for women to attract them, right? Especially those with families. We may have maybe women who give birth are given enough time and they are allowed to come back to work, or it doesn't affect their promotion opportunities, right? And so those who are also interested will need to explore what the industry has to offer in terms of career choice. And so knowledge and understanding of the industry is very important, and that is at a personal level. Now, once we come to the organizational level, organizations, consulting firms, contractor organizations, client organizations, they also have a part to play, right? And examples of some of these initiatives will be specific career development programs to support women so that they can progress to senior level positions. Another is better recruitment practices. And so women will not be disadvantaged when it comes to recruitment, but recruitment will be on merit. And so when you look at our report, we have a large number of factors or initiatives. But for the purpose of this presentation and for the reason of time, we have highlighted a few. Now, the third level is the industry. And so we need a change across the industry in terms of the culture of the industry. We say the industry is male dominated. And so how can we change that so that that image is not projected? And then we can also have trans-organizational initiatives where it is possible to have support structures in place, maybe between organizations. You can even have a mentor in a different organization because that person, is able to support another mentee, working in another organization. And so for us to address the issues we have raised in objectives 1 and 2, then we need these 3-level initiatives, i.e. personal, organizational, and then industry. Our fourth objective was how do we promote equality among men and women in the construction industry. And so again, our study found a number of factors that can be considered. And then we have presented 4 in this case. The first one being fair support systems for women, for example, return to work programs. And so from our interviews, we realized that this has been highlighted by a large number, return to work. And so women, it gives them the opportunity to have children, and they are not worried about losing their jobs. And so if we have return to work programs and similar, then it means that we can have more women remaining. Then it means that after childbirth, they wouldn't be looking for job or work in another sector. And the second is flexible working hours so that they can balance family and work life. Again, very, very important. And the third is provision of adequate welfare facilities, especially on construction sites for women. Once women are on site, obviously they should have welfare facilities suitable for them. And the last is the training and education in organizations on issues that affect women. And so such as discrimination, sexism, and so on. And so training within organizations for men and women on these issues will make women comfortable to work. And so our fifth objective, then we come to the pathways to bring women into the construction industry. And so we have 8 main pathways. The first being work placement. And so in the UK academic system, we have what we call the work placement. And so the work placement is where after the first 2 years, students going to the 3rd year, they join the industry for a year. And so the full academic year, they do it with an employer. It's a paid opportunity, so the students are paid. So there are salary levels for students who are in placement. The universities will visit their workplaces twice a year to assess their performance. And so based on experience, we realize that it is an easy way to get into the marketplace, because once students are in placement, they perform well, they impress the employer, then they are retained. And most of them return to do the final year on part-time basis because they already have a job. So work placement is an effective way to get into the industry. Another is the degree apprenticeship, which is popular in the UK. And so with degree apprenticeship, the student is working with an employer full-time, and then they come to uni maybe once a week for academic activities. And so this is a degree apprenticeship. So they are being paid to work, and they are having their degrees at the same time. And so we find a lot of women using this path into employment in the industry. Then we have employment quota system for women. So some organizations have a number of slots for qualified women. And so it's a way to get more women into the industry. Then we have the remote working programs with the help of technology. And so women who are maybe who are on maternity leave and they want extension, they can still work from home, all right? Or they can balance it, maybe 2 days in the office and the remaining 3 days working from home with the help of technology. And so for the reasons of time, these are the points that I'll be presenting. The others, we have the work experience and then student early employment and development programs. We have training programs and then freelance schemes for women as well. And so our research found these 8 major pathways to help women into the construction industry. So our final phase is what we are doing now. So we have the workshop and the conference. And so the purpose of the workshop is the focus on how to support women graduate entrance and retention. And we have very wonderful keynote speakers, and Tosu spoke earlier, highlighting a number of important issues, some of which have been captured by our study. And then we have a one-day conference on Thursday in Abuja to bring the project to a close. And so thank you so much for having time for me.